Hello my lovelies, I really hope you're all well and welcome to today's video. Today I will be sort of running through what I think should be in any beginner's makeup kits. And yeah, so I'm just going to get started. I'm going to start off with tools and other stuff like that, and then move on to base and then move on to everything else. So for me, I think certainly one thing everybody should definitely have in their makeup arsenal is some micellar water, so that if you do mess up at any point, you can very easily clean up, and you can also very easily remove all the makeup that is on very swiftly. Now I recommend this one. This is the Garnier Skin Active Micellar Water. It's quite expensive if you get the larger size. This is an on-the-go size that I got for like £1 somewhere, so yeah, definitely invest in some micellar water. Okay, the next sort of tool that I want to talk about is this. Now, in America, these are called Qtips. I'm pretty sure if you're English, you will know this as an earbud. These are incredibly useful, especially if you're doing something like winged liner and you don't really have a lot of skill with it. You can just sort of clean up, or if you need to clean up an eyebrow or maybe a lip line or something like that, something that's quite small and delicate that you can't really get at with something else, this will be your best friend. Very useful, very cheap, and very easy to come by. Most people have these in their cupboards anyway, so they are very useful. Okay, now the next thing I think that everybody should have in their makeup kit are some brushes. These are just two that I grabbed out of my little tin over there to show you. This is the Real Techniques buffing brush, and this is the Spectrum A01 angled brush. Now I think that when you're applying foundations, most people start out with their fingers, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with using your fingertips, but this will just get you a really nice, really blended and polished application for your foundation. You can get sort of almost every little bit of your face with it, and they're very useful. This one I think was £6 or £7 online. You can get them. Real Techniques brushes are very good quality, and they're a really good price, and they're also really easy to get hold of, so I would definitely recommend one of these. However, if you do have a slightly higher budget, I would recommend one of the Spectrum brushes. This is their angled brush. I use this for contour and bronzing. Because it's got that nice angle, you can sort of get around the perimeter of your face, you can get under your jaw if you're contouring, you can get in those little contour areas. I use it also to blend the contour on my nose. So yeah, definitely these are really good brushes. They are slightly more expensive than the Real Techniques, but it is a very useful brush. And the last thing that I want to mention in the tools section is this. Now I'm pretty sure everybody knows what this is. This isn't the actual beauty blender. This is the, I think I just got this one online, but you can get them very cheaply. They're this one's actually really good quality. I've had this for a while. The way I clean mine is I put them in a bowl of water and I microwave it for 30 seconds, and it comes out nice and cleaned on the inside as well as the outside. And these are very useful. I use mine for either applying foundation or setting my concealer, setting around my nose, setting around my mouth, etc. These are really useful. Again, you can get them very cheap. If you do wish to go out and buy the original beauty blender, that's completely up to you, but these are really good. So yes, so that is that for the tools section. Oh no, it's not except this as well. Now this is something that I think everybody should have, whether you are a makeup wearer or not, and it is actually a compact mirror, like a compact. So this one is a Bare Minerals one. It's actually a foundation, but I use it as like a compact mirror. It's really grubby, so that needs a good clean, but I would definitely recommend getting a compact mirror for on the go, because sometimes you need to top up your makeup on the go, and it's very helpful. So someone's coming in. It's the boyf. With tea. He's bringing me tea. Thank you. But yeah, I would definitely recommend getting a compact when you first start out, so that you can take it with you if you do need to touch up any parts of your face. Okay, so the next section that I wanted to talk about was your base. Now, I think that when you first start, you don't actually need to use too many base products. I think that's where a lot of people go wrong when they're applying their base products, and I think that yeah, that's where most people go wrong when they first start. Now, the first thing that I always do before I apply my makeup is I use a good moisturiser. Mine is the Garnier Body Repair that I use, and I will moisturise my face quite well. I will really get in there, really rub it in. This is so that none of my makeup will cling to any dry patches on my skin. Also, it gives a nice smooth surface for makeup to adhere to. So that is a very important part. I think everybody should get a nice moisturiser, whichever one you like. That one was really cheap. I think it was like £1 in Superdrug or Asda or something. But yeah, definitely invest in a good moisturiser I mean, just moisturising your face will make your face look amazing anyway. So yeah, and I have two options for the next step that I want to show you for foundations. Now, where a lot of people go wrong is they will buy a foundation that isn't their shade, and you do really need to get an exact match when you first start, because you don't have the confidence or the skill to be able to sort of warm up a foundation if you need to, or a lot of people don't know that if it doesn't match your face, just make your neck the same colour. You know, it's little things like that. And this is the one that I use. This is the All Day Luminous Weightless Foundation by Nars. This is one of my favourite foundations ever. It is an expensive foundation, but I do think that when you first start, investing in a decent foundation will make a whole lot of difference. They tend to be better quality. Higher end foundations tend to be of much higher quality than cheaper ones. They blend a lot easier. They're a lot easier to work with. So I would definitely recommend maybe paying a little bit more for a decent foundation with a perfect match shade. So go and get yourself matched before you go and buy a foundation, so that you know that this is the colour that you are, and then you can sort of work from there. You know what sort of ones suit you, you know what sort of undertones you have, and then you can move on to sort of freestyling it almost. So that's the first thing. Another thing that I think is very good if you're just starting and you don't really like the feel of heavy makeup on your face, and this is the one I use. This is the Garnier Miracle Skin Perfector, and it's a BB cream. These are very good for people who don't like to wear very full coverage products or very heavy products, because BB creams are not heavy. I'm in fact wearing this today, and it just gives a nice slight bit of coverage and a nice little perfecting thing on the skin, and they can look really natural. So I would definitely recommend getting a BB cream if you're just starting out, because it will really help you to sort of learn how to apply these. BB creams can be applied with fingers. I've applied mine with my finger, well, my hands today, and you can apply these because they don't tend to streak like foundation does. So I would definitely recommend getting a BB cream in your arsenal. And the last two things that I want to talk about in base, the first thing is concealer. Now, I would definitely advise investing in a good concealer. This one is amazing and it's really affordable. This is the Collection Lasting Perfection Concealer. It is my favourite concealer ever. It has really good coverage. It blends really nicely. They don't have a very big shade range, so that is a bit of a problem. However, they are so affordable that it really doesn't matter, and it's such a good quality product that this is obviously very well known in the beauty community. A lot of people use this, but yeah, I would definitely recommend that for a concealer. And the last thing that I want to mention in base is a setting powder. Now, I use the Mercier setting powder. However, you don't have to. There are so many out there that are really good. The Rimmel Stay Matte powder, for one, that's absolutely amazing. I use this to set my under eyes, set around my nose, and set around my mouth, because that is where my foundation will move. I definitely think that a lot of people, when they first start, don't realise that they really should set their foundation. A foundation is a cream or liquid product, so it will need setting with something to make sure that it stays on your face all day. This one is very good. However, it is an expensive setting powder and it is loose, so a lot of people do struggle with loose powders to begin with, but I would definitely recommend the Rimmel Stay Matte powder. It keeps your foundation in place. It's a pressed powder and it also mattifies, so if you're slightly oily or you're wearing a dewy foundation that is a bit too dewy, it will mattify that straight away and make it look far more natural, or absorb any oil that is on your face. So yes. definite. Now that we have finished with base, I can move on to the other few bits that I fully recommend and that I think that everybody could use. Now, the first thing that I want to talk about is a nude eye palette. Now, I know a lot of people, when they first start out, they want to go out and they want to buy these really cool coloured palettes. I know that at the moment, sort of like the Morphe 350 with all those warm shades in are really in, with that dark burgundies and the oranges. But I think that when you first start, you really need to use something that is very, very natural. Colours that are used more for contouring the face and contouring the eyes rather than to add colour. And this one is my definite recommendation. It's only £10. You get 12 shades, which is really, really good. And it is a really good mix of mattes and shimmers. And you get everything you really need. You have a taupey shade, you have some good crease shades, you have some fantastic lid shades, you've got some nice, beautiful shimmers down here. This one here is my particular favourite. A nude eye palette will do anything and everything you need it to, and I think when you first start and you maybe haven't got the skill or the confidence to pull off these really bright eye looks, a nude palette will make life so much easier, because if you do mess up, it's not as obvious. So I would definitely recommend getting a nude palette. For multiple reasons. They are very, very multi-purpose. For example, I use an angled brush and these two shades here for my eyebrows, when I just would rather use a powder for my eyebrow or whatever. I use those two for my eyebrows, so you can use them as an eyebrow product, as an eye product. For Halloween, I actually use some of the taupey shades as a contour shade, so you can use them a lot. You can use them for all sorts of different things, and for £10, being so multi-purpose, it is truly awesome. So the next thing that I want to talk about is actually a face product, and it is bronzer. Now, the reason why I've chosen bronzer, sorry, I'm trying to put that away. The reason I have chosen bronzer instead of blush or anything else is that bronzer is far more multi-purpose. Now, this is the W7 Bronze and Glow Kit. It's a very, very close dupe of the Charlotte Tilbury Bronze and Glow Kit. However, it's very, very cheap. It's far, far cheaper. I think this is £2 or £3. It's really, really good quality. It's a nice light shade, so it's a nice light colour for us fair ladies of the world who do need a slightly paler bronzer. I wouldn't recommend it for contour because it is slightly shimmery. However, bronzer is a very, very multi-purpose product. It can be used to bronze up the perimeter of the face. It can be used for contour if it's matte and it's slightly more grey toned. It can be used as eyeshadow. It can be used however you want it to. You can take it down your neck to match your face to your neck or whatever. So that's why I recommend bronzer rather than blusher. It's a very, very multi-purpose product. However, it is something that you do have to go in with a gentle hand. So if you're slightly more heavy-handed, just try and be a bit careful. That's all I can recommend. So definitely a bronzer should be in everybody's first makeup kit. Okay, I only have 3 more products to talk about. Thank God. You're probably all thinking, God, woman, just get to the end of this video. And the next thing that I want to mention is an eyebrow product. Now, this is just the one that I use. You don't have to use this one. This is the Anastasia Brow Definer. So it is more expensive. However, it's dual-ended. It has a spoolie one end and then an angled tip the other, which is really, really helpful for when people are first starting. They have like a nice little angled tip so they can get a really, really good shape of eyebrow. I would not recommend using a brow pomade if you're only just starting out. Brow pomades are notoriously difficult to work with. Yes, they give you that gorgeous Instagram brow, but they are quite tricky to work with. So I would recommend either a powder or a pencil like this. I know that Soap and Glory do some really, really good ones. And I know that a lot of other companies do really cheap, like pound cheap eyebrow pencils. The thing I will say about eyebrow pencil is try and get one that is quite cool toned. Most people have cool toned eyebrows and cool toned hair, not warm toned. So just be quite wary of that and test it out. Make sure that it does kind of match you. And yeah, I mean, if you're a dark blonde, don't go for blonde, go for something taupe or brown, because a blonde eyebrow pencil will be far too warm for you. I have that problem a lot. But definitely recommend getting an eyebrow pencil rather than anything else, because they're much, much easier to work with and you can find them a lot easier. And the last one, well, the last two things now we're on, yes. The next thing that I want to mention is mascara. Now this is a personal favourite of mine. This is the Covergirl Clump Crusher Extensions Lash Blast Mascara. This is actually an American product. I got this online. However, I do think that a good mascara will make anybody's eyes look so much better. It's one of the products I couldn't live without, is mascara. It will make anybody who's half asleep look awake. It opens up your eyes. It just makes everything look so much better. So I would definitely recommend a decent mascara. It's something that you should probably pay a little bit more money for, maybe in a £9–10 mascara rather than something a lot cheaper, because mascaras that are cheaper do tend to not be as good. They don't have as good ingredients in them. So especially if you have sensitive eyes, go for something maybe slightly more expensive. The L'Oreal Baby, is it L'Oreal? Rimmel? I don't know. That Baby Roll mascara, that one is very, very good. This one is excellent if you are in America, or you can get it online. Also the Benefit Perfect Roll thing, that one. What's it called? Roller Lash, that's it. That's a good one that I'd like to recommend. Also, this one by e.l.f., which was only a few pounds. This one is an excellent mascara, so I definitely think that mascara is such a very, very important part, and I think everybody should have one in their kit. Now, finally, for the last thing that I want to mention is a nude lipstick. Now, the reason I say a nude lipstick rather than a red or something like that is that a nude lipstick will look good in whatever. It's very, very multi-purpose, whether you are going out for dinner, whether you are going on a date, whether you're just wearing it to drop the kids off at school or whatever, it will always look good. Also, nude lipsticks are much, much easier to work with. You don't have to worry quite so much about sort of going out of the lines or whatever. And this one is my personal favourite at the moment. This is the Makeup Revolution Rose Gold packaging one, and this is the shade Chaffeur. This is the perfect nude for my skin tone. It's a slightly darker nude, as you can probably tell, and it's also slightly mauvey pinky. But it's an absolutely fantastic one. It's only £3, so it's definitely worth it. But whatever your skin tone is, find your perfect sort of nude, and that will be your staple lipstick, because you can wear that wherever you go. I really, really hope that this has helped some of you. I really, really hope you've enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and press the big red subscribe button. If you guys have any other ideas of what you think should be in a beginner's makeup kit, please leave it down below in the comment section, and try and maybe help out some other people. And I will see you all on Tuesday. Bye bye.